Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 100. Are we at 120? Let's check. Let's go on the podcast. Let's do something that no one does and go into the podcast app and type in "nobody asked for this." Let's see. Okay, it's not popping up. Maybe this is why. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I spelled it wrong. Let's see how many episodes. This is 117. That's nothing to scoff at. Is scoff a word? Well, I have my phone pulled up. Let's Google scoff. Speak to someone or about something in a scornfully derisive or mocking way. Do you love how whenever you, not whenever, but would you love when you have to define a word that was in the definition of another word? That's where we're at today. It is officially September. I know there were rumors. I know last time I was talking about, maybe, when you hear from me next, it'll be September. It happened. It is September. I hope everyone has had a great start of their September. Bring on the Ber months is how I feel about it. I think I'm ready. I'm really starting to crack down on my fall ordering. Going into that app that I try not to order stuff from, but it's just a little bit too convenient. Scrolling back to my orders from last year: pumpkin spice syrup, add to cart; candy corn, add to cart. I'm really more so into the candy corn mix these days. So you get the one and it's the regular candy corn and then the pumpkins and then maybe a different flavor of candy corn. I don't know. So that's kind of what I more so have my eye on, and I might have to procure that from a store. I did famously buy, I think, a 2 or 3 pound bag of candy corn from that app. And I put it in this big container, and I probably ate it. It probably took me 2 weeks to finish a 3 pound bag of candy corn. Do you love how every time I talk about it, it's an extra pound? By the end of the episode, I'm going to be and I ate 6 pounds of candy corn. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but it's been a great week. I have officially gone through my first my first tin of pumpkin puree. I was at the store just this past Friday. I'm coming to you on Wednesday. It was just this past Friday, less than a week, 5 days, 5 or 6, kind of depending on your worldview. Because it's does this count as I'm recording, it's 7:20 a.m. So it's has Wednesday happened yet? Has Wednesday not happened yet? And then by the time you're hearing this, it's Thursday. So it's technically 6 days. But then if you think about it, from a Thursday to a Thursday, you really lived 7.5 days. So again, there's a lot of debates that could happen on how many days it's been since I bought the tin of pumpkin. But I have officially gone through the whole thing. In the past, I feel like I would buy pumpkin puree. And this is not pumpkin pie filling, this is just pumpkin pie puree. Although both sound delicious, I did opt for just regular pumpkin. And I realized that you could really put it in anything. I've been putting it in my yogurt. I've been putting it on my oatmeal. I didn't make a smoothie, but if I did, I would have added it. You could throw a little bit in your cereal. You could throw some, if you wanted to do be a protein person, you could do protein powder, pumpkin puree, maybe some almond milk, some chocolate chips, a little bit of sugar, some pumpkin pie spice, and then you have a little bit of a cookie dough situation. See, I need to start doing those TikToks where it's and I don't have the TikTok app. I do YouTube Shorts, but it's the TikToks from 6 months ago. which is funny. Like, I don't know what I'm so against TikTok for. I just feel like you have to know thyself, you know? And I am so easily influenced. I really realized that, like, as hard as I tried to be an influencer, like, I'm a sheep. Like, I'm not the influencer, I'm the influencee. And I had a realization about 6 months ago that I believe happened live as I was recording an episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. But the realization was that the harder I try to be an influencer, the more I'm just accepting the things that have been influenced. Do you know what I mean? Did I explain that properly? Like, I want to be like the influencers, so I start doing and buying the things that the influencers do and buy, but then that just makes me influenced, not an influencer myself. We went over this. I don't remember what episode, but regardless, I have gone through my first full tin of pumpkin, and I have to go back for more. I'm going back for seconds, people. I have had chili since we talked last. That has really been... I'm hoping once fall actually kicks off, what I enjoy is sort of like the transitional time between things where, like, you can kind of have, like, one foot in one pot and one foot in the other. I love double dipping, because if tomorrow I woke up and was like, it's summer, like, we're going to the beach, I could do that and it is still technically summer. If on Friday I wake up and feel a chill in the air, I could put on some plaid, go get a pumpkin spice latte, and sort of live that existence. And I enjoy that time for two reasons. One, I like to choose. And two, the timer on fall hasn't started yet. Fall goes by so quickly. So if I can get a little bit of extra fall time, let's do it. It was always like, where I am, you finish school like very, very end of June, and then you go back after Labor Day. So anyone going back to school, like, thinking of you. I always wake up in the few Labor Days that have happened since, or I guess first days of school that have happened since I have graduated. I wake up and I think, ugh. I pour one out for those that have to go back to writing essays. Like, I just can't imagine, like, writing an essay at this point, and I'm maybe coming up on 3 years removed of writing an essay. Like, I can't imagine having to write an essay. It sounds awful. It was awful. What was I talking about? My pumpkin? I went to traced myself back, went to the pumpkin seasons. Oh, I got it. When we would get out of school in June, there was sometimes a few days before actual July started, and in my head, July 1st was like the start of actual summer vacation. So I really made the most of June, like 29th, 30th. I don't think there's a June 31st, because it felt like bonus time, you know? So that's kind of where my head's at, which is really all I can concretely offer on the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I can't give you really much life advice, but I can just let you kind of know where I'm coming from, which is a question everyone wants to know. Regardless, I'm sitting here in my vehicle my very fancy podcast studio, in a pool of coffee. Not a pool, more like maybe like a lake. I was carrying quite a few things as I was entering the car this morning, mere hour, 10 minutes ago. And I put my coffee in the cup holder. I had my backpack, and my goal was to take my backpack from my back, and put it sort of on the floor of the passenger seat. And in doing that, in that pursuit, I knocked over the coffee, and it kind of spilled everywhere. Luckily, it didn't spill anywhere that I had to sit. And I don't have napkins in my car, but I do have, I think I talked about this. I spilled something a couple weeks ago. I spill a lot. Like, if I could, do you know how on that app that starts with an A where you order stuff. Do you know how you can sometimes have the option to subscribe to something and then they'll send it to you? If I was ever going to opt into a subscription-based delivery like that, it would be for Tide Sticks, because I'm just like spilling everything everywhere all at once. But there's a pool of coffee that I can't fix. Except I do have a pair of socks that I used to clean up a different spill that was probably also coffee. That I think I talked about a few episodes ago, but I basically didn't have a napkin. I found my spare socks, which I really feel like you should always have a pair of undies, just in case, spare, an air and a spare, and then socks, because what if you step in a puddle? Your whole day is derailed. Now, I have stepped in puddles before and not had spare socks, which is how I know you need to be getting some spare socks. So, there's that. Alrighty, what else? Oh, okay, I was thinking about something, and I don't know how to make this fit. I don't know how to transition from what I was just talking about to what I would like to talk about, so I'm just going to go there. I have often wondered, do you know how they say, like, your taste buds change every 7 years? I'm getting worried that time is coming, because I have had no indication that it is. I don't feel like my taste is changing. I might have discussed, I feel like my taste is getting weaker, and I don't know what to make of that. But regardless, I have always been fascinated by the idea that, like, every 7 years your taste bud changes. Now, I don't know if that's true, but for the sake of content, I'm not going to Google it, because I have kind of a few places I want to go with this. And if I, at this point, were to Google, do your taste buds change every 7 years? And the answer is no. That would really end that conversation, and I'm not looking to do that just yet. So, again, just letting you know where I'm at. So we're just going to go fact or fiction, myth or busters. Like, this is the fact for today. For the next 28 minutes, or however long this podcast lasts, it is a fact that every 7 years, your taste buds change. And I would just like to know, like, where I am in that journey, because I don't want my taste buds to change. Like, am I on year... Because I can't think of... I'm trying to think, what's the last thing I didn't like that I now like? Maybe brie cheese. I feel like I tried it probably more than 7 years ago and, like, didn't love it, and now I have to stay away from it, or else, like, I look like an animal at the Christmas functions. So maybe that is, like, the last thing. But I'm also I'm not a super picky eater at all. Like, there are things that I will eat and not, like, love, but I'll pretty much try anything that wasn't alive. Like, there are some animals that I just draw the line. I don't fully know why. Because it's like, if you'll eat, like, beef, like, why won't you eat lamb? Like, I can't. Like, I can't get over, like, the Mary of it all, you know? Like, Mary had a little lamb. Like, we're eating Mary's little lamb. I don't know about that. Or, like, rabbit. Like, I'm not going to eat rabbit. But, like, I'll eat chicken from Popeyes. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I understand that that's confusing. And I feel like one day I could be vegetarian. I feel like I have the heart of a vegetarian. Like, save the turtles, save the animals. I'm for it, truly. The only problem is I say all that, and then I go to Popeyes and get a usually like it's a 4-piece, whatever, like the middle piece set of, like, spicy tenders. You do the mac and cheese, the rice and beans, which unfortunately are not vegetarian. There's, like, a gravy or, like, pork fat, I believe, in the beans. I order that, and I'm like, do you know what? Maybe I jumped the gun on this whole vegetarian thing. But I think I could get there one day. If Popeyes figures out how to make their rice and beans vegetarian, I'm there. Like, I think that will be the last straw. Because, and really, okay, I have 2 requests. 1, that. 2, I feel like there's pretty much a vegetarian and or vegan. Oh, yeah, because I'm not going to be vegan. I'm going to be vegetarian. So I can still have the mac and cheese. But I feel like there is a way to make actual, like, not fried, but, like, there's not, like, a chicken substitute that I've tried that is, like, okay, this is good. Beef, they've got. Like, I don't think a Impossible Burger or Beyond Burger, I don't think it tastes exactly like a hamburger, but, like, it's pretty close. Like, it's close enough that, like, with the toppings in a burger, like, you'd never know. So, fully comfortable with that. I feel like sausages, they've done a good job at. Except that one time, I wanted to make a copycat Olive Garden recipe. You know that soup with the, with, like, the sausage and the kale and the potatoes and stuff? I made that and it was really good. But, like, I used a Beyond sausage because I didn't want to have to be a freak about, like, making sure the meat was cooked, like, if I used real sausage. And that, honestly, to be honest, is like 25% of where my vegetarianism is and or would come from, because I just don't want to have to worry about, like, food safe, like, did this spatula touch this? Like, it's so much easier just to do fake meat. Like, even making my beloved chili, like, I will usually opt for a Beyond sausage, and by usually I mean the 3 times I've made chili, I've done that. But when I used the pork, I used, like, spicy, or, like, fake pork, like, spicy Italian sausage that was dyed red, and I only realized that it was dyed red and not naturally red because when I put it in the soup, when I, like, chopped up the fake pork and put it in the soup, it all started, like, the red dye started boiling to the top, and I was like, oh, like, this soup now has, like, red 40 in it. And I don't know that is kind of, like, what I was going for, you know? But it tasted delicious. The only time I will cook, like, meat is chicken. There's nothing like a chicken cutlet. There's just not, like a breaded chicken cutlet is the best. Either with a plate of pasta, you can put it in a sandwich. If you wanted to, you could chop it up and put it over a salad. You could just eat it as it is. You could put, like, if you did, like, a chicken cutlet, piece of cheese, some like, either hot sauce or, like, a spicy pepper, like, from a jar, and oil. You could do that thing from Trader Joe's. Oh, I made eggs. Okay. Are eggs vegetarian? Can I be a vegetarian and eat eggs? I think so. I wanted to be fancy, and I went to Trader Joe's, which, Joe, I have a question for you. I went to your establishment, I want to say it was, like, August 20-something. It was, like, the later August months. I want to say it was the 25th. I realized that as a full month before fall actually starts, but, like, I was seeing very lackluster amounts of pumpkin. I didn't see your pumpkin yogurt. I didn't see the pumpkin bagels. I didn't see the pumpkin butter. I didn't see really anything pumpkin. And the only thing, do you know what's funny? The only thing I did see was pumpkin dog treats, which I have almost bought. I don't know if I talked about that before, but I have taken a thing of dog treats. I don't own a dog. I've never owned a dog. I don't even have a dog in my life, really, that I can think of off the top of my head, no offense if there are, that I could buy a treat for. Like, if I had gone through with what I'm about to tell you that I almost did, I would have just had to, like, donate it. I don't know. But I went up to the register. I saw something, or no, not the register. I was in the aisle. I saw, oh, this looks good. I put it in my cart. I'm unloading my cart at the register. This is a true story. And I looked and I said, why does this beef jerky look weird? And I said, oh, because it's for dogs. I almost bought, like, sweet potato dog treats. They look delicious. How was I supposed to know they sell dog food at Trader Joe's? I guess they sell everything. But you know what I mean. Long story short, I bought that chili oil with the Crispies chili crunch. I'm certain, like, it's obviously not like a Trader Joe's original. I'm sure there's actual, like, authentic versions of this that you can buy that I'm sure are 1,000 times better, but I bought the Trader Joe's one because that's what was in front of me. And I don't really like eggs, like, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's on principle, if it's, like, just the taste isn't that very good, but I've been trying to eat more than just Pop-Tarts for breakfast, so I was like, okay, let me have some eggs. And I took a little bit of the chili oil, and I felt so fancy, too. I put the oil in the pan, I let it heat up, I put some of the Crispies, I cracked the egg in the oil. I, like, made a fried egg, and I'm acting like I'm Gordon Ramsay. And I was, like, basting, I added more, like, chili oil, and then I wasn't, because I don't really cook eggs, I wasn't sure, like, because I know the yolk of an egg can be a little bit runny, but that just reminds me of runny noses, although I don't mind the taste. Like a runny egg over some potatoes is delicious, but then I wasn't sure, like the white part probably can't be runny, so I, long story short, did flip the egg over just for a few seconds to cook on the other side. Eggs really don't take that long. Like, I'm understanding why everyone is just eating it for breakfast, because you can really, like, you can have your breakfast done in, like, 5-10 minutes. Long story short, the chili oil was delicious. They also sell a seasoning thing of just, like, the crunchies without the oil. I also bought that. Any seasoning from Trader Joe's, I'll do. Basically, if Joe made it, I'm eating it. And what I wanted to come on here and say is, Joe, I visit your establishment probably like 2 times a quarter. Sometimes like sometimes that is twice in 1 month, and sometimes that's like 3 months apart. Like, I'll go in the beginning of the quarter and the end of the quarter. Just naturally, I'm not like planning it out. But I next time I come to you, like, there better be pumpkin stuff. Let's Google and see what time it's coming out. Not what time, but, like, I'll just go on the website. They're really quite genius. Like, they have to be rich. Oh, while I'm doing this, I will talk about, I had the best experience at Costco the other day. See, this is what I do for fun, okay? Some people on a Saturday will go, I don't know, to a club, whatever that is. I like to go to Costco and Trader Joe's. Now, this particular Costco experience, was it a Friday? No, it was a Saturday. It was a Saturday morning of a long weekend, mind you. So, like, what was I thinking? But I needed gas. My Costco has a gas station. I went to go get gas. And I was pulling out, and I thought, you know what? Parking lot doesn't look too bad. Like, let's just go in, because here's the thing. So many of my Costco memories are good, but they're all wrought with lines and seeing people that I, maybe know. Even if I like you, like, I don't necessarily want to see you Saturday morning at Costco. Like, just to be completely honest, like, I could see my favorite person in the world and I would think twice about, like, having a conversation, because there's nothing funnier than, like, seeing someone, and obviously you want to be friendly. Like, I don't know what it is. There's like something, like, I feel like I'm a nice person, and then I'll see someone I know in public and I'm like, let's run. Like, it's fight or flight, and I flight for no reason. And then I feel guilty about it for the next 2 days. So, like, I might as well just have said something, and I like talking to people. Like, I'm not antisocial. I don't know what it is. Fight or flight. We're flighting. We're flying. But so many of my Costco memories are that I was like, you know what? I don't need anything from Costco today. Like, I'm not looking for anything from Costco. So, like, let me just park. It was in the back corner, but let me just park. Let me walk in. I'm not going to grab a buggy. I am just going to stroll around, see what's happening. And at any point, and this is the key to how you start kind of making good Costco memories. This is the key. You have to just remind yourself that at any point you could leave. Not because you saw someone. That's not a reason to leave. But, like, if I walked into that Costco this past Saturday morning and it was busy and it was lines and I was having a bad experience, because I don't have a cart and because I don't actually need anything, I could just get out. And I highly recommend it. So I walk up to the front door, and this is something I did know. This is something I had heard. Apparently now they scan your Costco membership like you're at the border. And they did. So I had to walk in, I had to get my Costco membership, and I love following rules. So I was like so excited to not have to sneak in. Because here's the thing, I, as you can probably tell, was very boring. I was kind of a rule follower. The only thing I've ever done that was quote unquote against, well, not the only thing, but like, you know, like my worst thing that I did is I would sneak into Costco and get chicken strips. And I did this, I think, once. Like I just kind of like walked in, pretended I was with a group of people, got my chicken strips, paid for my chicken strips, and left. Like that was like me being a rebel teenager. Like I wasn't sneaking out of the house, I was sneaking into Costco. So that's kind of, again, where my head's at. But I was so excited to kind of do it the proper way. So I got a Costco card 2 years ago. I've talked about this before. I actually did find out that I had COVID the next night or the next day. So like in my Costco picture, I technically have like some form of coronavirus, which is just kind of neither here nor there, but just like kind of my experience. So this past Saturday, I walked in, scanned my Costco card, and they said, come on in. So I don't know, it literally felt like going through passport patrol at the airport, like it was, or control at the airport, like you're going through customs. Like they like check that the picture on their screen matches you, and they say, oh, come on in. And I was like, this is, like, it just, here's the thing. I feel like there are probably people that use other people's Costco cards, especially since they have the self-checkout open. Like before, when you could only go to a cashier, like they scanned your picture and they saw that you were there. But I feel like since the self-checkout, like people probably have been using other people's Costco cards, which like, I feel like the money they get from more people shopping there, like making every single person have to buy a Costco card would probably make people shop elsewhere as opposed to spending the $200 buying groceries at Costco. Because, like, what is a membership? Like $60 a year? But, like, if you use someone else's Costco card even 3 times a year, that's probably like $600. So really, from a financial standpoint, they probably should have just let people keep using other people's cards. It's like Netflix when they started, like, password sharing. I feel like people stopped password sharing, like they probably just got less views, which makes no sense to me. Like I have no idea the business model of Netflix, like how they make money is beyond me, like truly. But I feel like it probably was a smarter financial decision to just let people come in because they're still spending money. And if you're using someone else's Costco card, you're probably gonna do like big trips every once in a while, so they're probably spending like $600 or $700 or $800 a year. And making that person buy a Costco card only gets you another $60, and they probably won't even do that. Now, whatever we have to do to keep the hot dogs $150, like I'm willing to do it. So that's kind of where my worry comes from. I don't want their sales to go down now, and then the hot dogs are $2. So either way, I walked in there. I had heard that they had new almond croissants, and guess what they were sampling when I walked in? I saw, as I was walking kind of up to the bakery section, I saw someone and I was like, are they eating the new Costco croissant? Like such a loser. I'm like, is that the almond blossom? And then I walked down and there it was. I tried my sample, did a couple loops around the store, didn't buy anything because I didn't need anything, and I walked out. And I really recommend, like, for healing, there's healing properties in that, truly. And I highly recommend it. And if you do one thing this weekend, I hope it's eat pumpkin chili with the pumpkin puree from the tin of pumpkin. And then follow it up with just like a stroll around Costco. Even if you have to do a big shop at Costco, like do that. And then go back the next day and just take a walk around. Take in the energy. It's a lovely place to be. Talk about getting to choose what season you're living in. You could get Halloween decor. You could get a summer beach chair, patio furniture, probably on a discount at this point. Or you could get Christmas, like full-on Christmas tree. So, or like they have like a new like a jambalaya that they're selling in the like ready to go food. Just go and just even plan out your next trip, like make your next shopping list. Although the problem with Costco is sometimes like they'll have something and then it's gone. So you kind of have to, like, if you see something, like, scoop it up. But, you know, their staples, like, just walk around. Smell the fresh air, you know? Take that even 20 minutes for yourself. Although I guess it could be hard. I understand that this could be unreasonable advice, but, like, if you're in a place to receive it, I recommend it. I don't want to be like, and now I recommend that everybody goes to, you know, Europe for 2 weeks. It's a great distressor. And then also get like this treatment and that treatment for your skin. And it's like all of that equals $20,000. I just feel like Costco, it's like cheap-ish. Walk around. I feel weird giving advice. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to go before I start giving out more unsolicited advice. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, you can go to podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. On there, you can listen to the episodes. You can find links to all of our stuff, our Apple Podcast, Spotify. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great summer, fall time, transition, September. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.